Next up, Louay from Fraunhofer FOKUS. You're happy there? Yes. Louay is going to talk to us in 5 minutes about the latest updates in the CTA Wave streaming media test suite. Off you go, Louay. Sorry, you need to get...
Not yet?
There we go. Off you go.
Okay, now. So let's start. 5 minutes. Topic is advancing HbbTV interoperability. I'm talking today about latest development in the CTA Wave streaming media test suite. It's a complicated name, but it's maybe also complicated. But idea is to improve interoperability on media playback devices, especially on TV devices. Here is just a brief recap about the work we are doing in CTA Wave. CTA is a Consumer Technology Association, and Wave is a project within this consortium, which is called Web Application Video Ecosystem. And there is a test suite. As you can see here in the video running as a background, it's about enhancing testing on TV devices. And one of the main missions is also to do kind of automation. As you can see in the background, there is a demo running, there is a recording device. In this case, it's a smartphone recording a screen. So we do this because we don't need to have a human sitting in front of TV doing the testing, because in many situations it's impossible to do human testing to detect if a frame is missing or if measure startup time and so on. So there is a framework. You can see there is an architecture. I am not going in the details. There are many components, like you have the measuring content, you have test content encoded and so on. You have a test runner, you have an observation framework and so on. All are put together in one single framework in this test suite, and it's available as open source for everyone. So why I'm talking today about this here in HbbTV, because HbbTV, there is a liaison between CTA Wave and HbbTV, and HbbTV is using part of this test. We are focusing here on media playback, especially using MSE and EME APIs. And this is why it's very important also for HbbTV. There's a good collaboration between HbbTV and this group. So I put everything in one slide. I'm not going in the details here, but once we distribute the slides, you have all the information where you can start. So this is just a recap, and I have one slide full of text, but this is what has happened since last year. I think last year, John talked about this in one of the presentations. We have several opportunities to present the test suite, but maybe this is a recap what we did in the last year. First of all, we have a major test suite release, v3.0.0, which include new tests, also a lot of audio-only tests. In this release, there are 66 validated tests. Is far away from HbbTV's 3,000 plus tests, but as I mentioned earlier, this is only about a media playback. It's not about the, every application aspect. It's only focusing on the media playback. We have improved documentation and so on. So one of the current releases we are working on is, which will be released soon, is we have a lot of new generated content, especially HEVC test content, which we demonstrated for the first time at IBC. We did further validation of many tests at HbbTV Plugfest and Fraunhofer TV Lab, and we have improved observations for example, for long time playback and so on. One also of the other activities within the group is commercial DRM integration. We saw in a previous presentation, I think this is one of the key activities at HbbTV with DRM specification, especially when EME API is used. So there was a survey on this. We have a lot of responses from the industry. And there are still many issues with this API's integration with DRM, commercial DRM systems. I'm not talking about issues within HbbTV. I'm talking about issues in general when using this API in combination with commercial DRM. There was a survey on it, and we will then try to extend or include more DRM, commercial DRM systems in the test suite. On the spec update, there was like updates in the spec for testing or HDR, also selected the dynamic mapping profile on top of HVC, as I mentioned, commercial DRM and edit lists. So this is last, let's say, sentence from my side. I hope.
Thank you, Louay.
Very short, but.
No, it's great. Perfect.
Yeah,
thank you. Louay, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Is there something you want to get from the people in this room tomorrow?
I think, so I didn't plan to have an unconference session, but if there is interest from anyone here, from TV manufacturer or like doing testing and certification and so on, happy to discuss maybe in the break, and maybe
Sure.
there was idea for a new unconference session.
Exactly, because we
Yes.
have DTG testing, we
Yes.
have Resilient, we have Kineton, we have a lot of the test
Yes.
community in the room.
This
So
is-
maybe you put your heads together and see if there is need
Yeah.
to
Just
to
contact
take
me and then
advantage.
we can
Great.
set up a conference
Thanks,
session.
Louay.
Thank you.